As I said before, I'm Rachel Kutcher. I'm the Student Parent Success Program Manager at Santa Fe Community College. And two of our student parent leaders, Jackie and Vanessa, are also joining us today. And I'm going to ask Jackie and Vanessa to introduce themselves and just share a little bit more about themselves as students and as parents.
Hi, my name is Jackie Rodriguez. I have a 3-year-old daughter named Maya, and this is gonna be my third semester at Santa Fe Community College, and I'm majoring in criminal justice.
Hi, my name is Vanessa Rodriguez. I have a 1.5-year-old daughter. Her name is Eliana, and a 3-year-old son. His name's Emiliano, and I am majoring to get my associates in biological sciences.
So we're going to start off by giving you just a little bit of like national data context about student parents. I'm going to pass it over to Jackie for that.
Thanks, Rachel. So within the national data context, there is 4.8 million college students that are raising children. Out of that 4.8 million, there are 3,422,270 students that are mothers and 867,396 that are fathers. Approximately 2.1 million student parents attend a 2-year institution, which represent 30% of the entire student body. 1 in 5, 22% of undergraduates are parents. 42% attend a public 2-year college and 17% attend a public 4-year college. 70% of all parenting students are female, and 62% of those are single mothers. 15% of colleges offer on-campus childcare. 3 in 5 student parents are age 30 or older. Student parents' median age is 32 compared to 27, age 27 for independent students without children. 1/3 of student parents have a GPA of 3.5 or higher. Parenting students have a higher GPA compared to non-parenting students. However, parenting students are less likely to reach completion. 31% of single mothers ages 25 and older held a college degree. And 4 in 10 women at a 2-year college say they are likely to drop out of school due to their dependent care obligations.
All of this is why SFCC started supporting student parents. And there's been longtime champions across many departments at SFCC who have been championing student parents. And so we like to always acknowledge that this work did not start in the last few years, but that it really kind of grew and became more integrated at SFCC in the last few years. So a recent history of this work at SFCC in 2019, just months before the pandemic started, there was a grant from Annie E. Casey Foundation called Expanding Opportunity for Young Families, which originally was awarded to Santa Fe Community Foundation. And the Community Foundation was actually there at the time, started working with the college as well as other community organizations to look at college and career pathways for young parents. There was an initial student parent health sciences cohort that started in January of 2021, and then a short coding IT cohort that followed. For a variety of reasons, it was determined that the grant would actually better sit at Santa Fe Community College. And so in July of 2022, this work really became formalized into the Student Parent Success Program at SFCC. And there was additional funding that the college secured. And then around that same time, SFCC joined Generation Hope's Family U cohort. So Family U is a kind of peer learning program for colleges to support growth of their student parent work. It's run by an organization called Generation Hope. They select a small cohort of colleges each year based on applications. So we're just finishing up actually the 2 years of their second cohort. And then our librarians, when I mentioned before, longtime champions across departments, our library team has been incredibly supportive of parenting students for a long time. So they opened a family study room that was really largely led by the Library Initiative, supported with some additional grant funding by us in August of 2022. And then somehow I got very out of order here. Actually, no, I just put the wrong number in. January of 2023 is actually when we began our coaching model. So sorry for that typo. So we have a few different ways that we support student parents that we're going to talk about through this presentation. So some of that is kind of direct support through coaching, family activities, parent classes. We'll talk more about those. And some of that is more campus-wide, different things around college systems. With our coaching model specifically, we have about 30 students who are currently in coaching. Our goal with this is to provide ongoing support throughout the semester and across semesters, and also to really help students identify and help problem solve challenges early on before those become things that cause students to stop out. As Jackie mentioned before, while student parents have higher GPAs than non-parenting students on average, they have higher stop-out rates, lower certificate and degree completion rates. So our coaching model continues to evolve. It is fairly new, but we start off with a developing with each student a resource plan that looks at, different socioeconomic needs, child care situation, things like that, as well as just sort of access and navigation of the college. Is their financial aid application complete? Do they need, to do an appeal? And if so, do they need support with that? Do they have their books? Are they registered for their classes? Can they access their classes? Things like that. And then semesterly goal setting, usually an academic goal and a personal goal. We do a combination. We started off just doing individual check-ins with students. This semester, we moved into some small group monthly check-ins and coaching, which helped develop more relationships between student parents, both to provide peer support and also just, that kind of social connection. Often our parenting students feel like they're the only one, and we know from that data that Jackie shared, at any institution, our parenting students are not the only one. So we're probably moving this following semester into sort of options for individual or small group coaching just to accommodate scheduling needs. We also, as part of this program, have been providing milestone-based stipends during the semester, both for meeting certain enrollment and completion milestones, as well as for engaging in coaching on an ongoing basis. That is grant funded and has been somewhat limited in terms of age eligibility for that, and will also probably be evolving as that funding wraps up. And then we do an end of semester evaluation each semester with students, just kind of see how we're going, how we're doing, where we need to improve our work with them. And right now we're working with our Firstborn and More model office, which also sits in the same department at the college that the Student Parent Success Program does, on a Learning Together curriculum, which is really going to be designed for folks in higher ed, advisors, counselors, coaches, to really have some tools to work with parenting students, both in their role as a student and in their role as a parent. And I'm going to pass it over to Jackie to talk a little bit more about our college systems work.
So in addition to our coaching and student parent work, SFCC offers a multitude of family-friendly spaces on campus. SFCC has a family study room that is located inside of the library, and it offers toys and activities for children of all age ranges. There's desks for students to utilize while they're studying and doing homework, while their kids can play and kind of entertain themselves while students get work done. There are also designated parking spaces throughout the campus, allowing parenting students to have more of a convenient place to park while with their children. These parking spaces are a little bit closer to campus, so when you're lugging around your toddler, it's a little bit of not that far of a walk onto campus, which is really great. SFCC is also going to be doing a GPS-enabled campus map that will allow students to be able to visually see where all of the family-friendly spaces are throughout campus. The tutoring center is a great resource that SFCC offers. There is a family-friendly space so students can get tutoring and bring their children. There's no need to arrange for any kind of childcare for that. TRIO, Student Affairs, and our Campus Center, which is our dining area, all offer spaces for children to utilize. Again, toys and activities. There is high chairs in the dining area. I'm sorry, my daughter is ready for a nap. So for me, I'm a single mom. These spaces allow me to bring my daughter with me and be able to utilize them. She knows when we're going to mom's school that she gets to play with toys. It makes her feel more welcome on campus. There is also a lactation room on campus and changing tables throughout the campus. SFCC is going to be introducing some family-friendly policies, which will include the student lactation policy that is going to be introduced in August, and the children on campus policy, which is in the governance review process. SFCC students have priority admission to Kids Campus, which is the college's early childhood education center, and they take ages 2 months to 5 years. And we are also in the process of developing a training that will help aid our staff and faculty to know more about student parents and how to support them. We do also work with a photographer to photograph student parents and their families, and we use those photos in our program materials, but we're also working with department marketing to use those photos throughout the college. The data on parenting students started in fall of 2023, and it is a pop-up question that comes up during every semester before course registration that just asks parenting students or students their parenting status. And this helps us to understand more about student parents. It compares student parent progress to non-student parents, and we also can use it to target communications to student parents.
So along with all the work that we do with trying to work with our policies, with the lactation policy and our children on campus, we also try to plan family nights in space or fall family festival, which all include kid-friendly activities that families from the community and also families within our Santa Fe Community College community are welcome to bring their kids to. We kind of think of it as a two-generational idea where your children are coming into a college campus and getting used to the idea that college is normal and college is something that they should be looking forward to. And along with all of the planning that we do, we also have a lot of student parent leadership within the college. We have a student parent alliance that helps advise on programs and policy and the ways that our college is interacting with student parents. They also help organize the staff and faculty and family events like that other picture that you saw. And we also help staff it sometimes. We also work on special projects like consulting on the lactation policies, and we also had a college readiness night that we planned recently that we also helped advise and comment on. Within the Student Parent Alliance, we have different leadership roles. So we have our Family Youth Fellowship, which I hold at the moment with Generation Hope, like Rachel mentioned, which is that 2-year learning cohort. We have a set spot within our Student Parent Government Association for a Student Parent Senator, and we also have a work study. The whole point of our Student Parent Alliance and all of these positions being held within the college is just really to raise awareness of student parents and build a community within all of us.
So we also, so the Student Parent Success Program at SFCC sits within a department known as the Early Childhood Center of Excellence. And there are several programs within the Early Childhood Center of Excellence, which we shorten as ECHO, which I recognize is confusing because we are on a different ECHO call. So bear with me, we'll refer to it as ECHO, but so one of those programs within our department is the Institute for Innovative Family Programs, which is sort of our training arm at ECHO. And so there's a lot of professional training for the early childhood workforce that takes place through the Institute, but we also have been offering some parenting classes. Or some classes for parents. So we've done a couple cohorts now using the Abriendo Puertas curriculum. We have our own internally developed family financial literacy curriculum. We also have been offering the Circle of Security class, and we'll start offering a positive discipline class this fall. And so that's been a mix of in-person and online up till now, but in 2024, 2025, all of the classes are going to be online, and so we'll be able to open up that up to student parents statewide. So would love your help engaging some of your student parents in these classes as well. We also have been really looking towards some more statewide work, and we worked with the New Mexico Independent Community Colleges to develop and implement a New Mexico College Student Experience Survey. So this survey was open to all students at the participating institutions, but really had specific questions for student parents, and that was really the lens through which it was developed. We used Skip Logic to really, once student parents were identified, to ask them those additional questions. And this really was intended to build on the statewide basic needs survey to help us better understand our parenting population, both in terms of basic needs, but also in terms of, specific supports they'd like to see at their institutions, modalities in which they'd like to take classes, schedules, childcare needs, all of that. And it's helping us establish a baseline understanding of parenting student needs in higher education in New Mexico. We, from this, are hoping to do a couple of things. So we are hoping to develop with our peer higher ed institutions a New Mexico Student Parent Alliance, so that we can develop a policy agenda together to really support parenting students statewide at all of our higher ed institutions. Like I mentioned before, we're also going to be offering those online parent classes statewide. And so would love your help engaging your student parents in taking those as well. And we'll have more information about registering for those in the fall. We're hoping that we'll be able to do shared learning around supporting student parents. And we also are working right now on a website that will kind of have a basic set of tools for student parents statewide, but that hopefully will become a partnership across different higher ed institutions. So we're also working on some toolkits to help kind of share and disseminate both the work that we're doing at SFCC supporting student parents, but also at other institutions in the state and nationally, to really build out these supports across other institutions, or to encourage other institutions to do so. And in that, this is our last slide. So we would really love to both hear your questions and also know, like, what would you like to see? How would you like to engage in this work across institutions? And how, what resources do you think would be helpful in that?